G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to recover all the action from today's FNCS finals, and man, this genuinely felt like grand finals. This season has already kicked off to one of the best starts we could have ever imagined. EU going into game 6, you had Benjy Fishy's team, Hen's team, Aqua's team, and Tayson's team all within like 3 eliminations of each other, fighting for the top 3 to qualify for grand finals. NA East, we had an insanely close leaderboard. Bugha and Iomzo's teams kind of ran away with it, but we had about 6 or 7 teams all fighting for the 3rd place slot. Clix's team almost pulled off the comeback of a century. I don't want any spoilers, I'll talk about it later in the video, but man, both regions were absolutely ridiculous. Before we get into that though, I want to take a quick minute to talk about the Cash Cup, which I wasn't planning on doing, but when I saw there was a player who placed top 10 in the money on an old gen console, 60 FPS and 70 ping, I knew I needed to at least talk about the Cash Cups. I focused most of my time on FNCS today, so I didn't really pay too much attention to the Cash Cup, and I was thinking, am I going to include it in today's video? And then I got tagged in this, a post by a player named FLK Miles at Miles1x_. I'll link their Twitter down below. Please chuck them a follow. They massively deserve it. They said 9th on console, 60 FPS, 70 ping, would have made money last season. So sorry in the intro, I know he said he placed in the money. I forgot. NA West prize pool has changed. Top 8 is the money. He placed literally 1 place outside it. I think if I go back to the leaderboard now, he ended up finishing in 10th. He went down 1 more place, but was literally 1 point, 1 single point from getting money. And again, on an old gen console and 70 ping. The main reason why I want to talk about this is I know a lot of you guys are grinding out there on, hardware that's not as good, maybe an old gen console, maybe you don't have 144 FPS, maybe you have higher ping. And I know that's always going to make the game harder for you, but I've always tried to use the message as you're only using that to hold yourself back. Obviously, you could be so much better with better gear and better ping. Everyone could, but I think players like Miles here, I need to highlight as hope for you guys out there who might not have the best setup to get some recognition, hopefully get some money, and maybe get a better setup to really start placing up there, because 156 points on NA West, 8 matches, 2 wins with an average elims of 1.88. So my man's a placement demon. It's pretty hard to frag out when you literally are playing on a slideshow. 60 FPS going into endgame is more like 30, but it does show that you can do it. There's players out there who are placing on old gen consoles, on a high ping, all those different constraints. So big shout out to Miles, and I hope a lot of you guys see this as an inspiration that even in solo Cash Cups, you guys can still do really, really well. Talking about insane performances, if we look at NA East, we had a player that I admit I don't know that much about, MiH Mini, who managed to take out the 1st place, going from $2,600 earned, or I think $2,400 earned actually, to $3,000, winning the Cash Cup. This was huge. Obviously, anytime someone pops off out of nowhere, everyone starts accusing them of cheating. From as I can see, Mini is just a goat. We've got to get out of this mindset of, oh, I don't know this player, they have to be cheating. Sometimes people just have a really good day and have a really good performance. So Mini took out the 1st place slot on NA East on 182. We had Hide and Seek, Seabear, again, a really underrated player popping off. Tragics, Magnolia, another MiH member, Neon. We had Threats, Charlie, Carey. We had Day. Day was in 1st place for a lot of the tournament, got a 30 elim win to kick off the tournament. A 30 bomb victory out in a solo Cash Cup. Unfortunately, fell off the pace a little bit towards the end. Last game went down on a 0 elim 62nd. Bit gut wrenching, but still a really good performance from Day overall. If we look over at EU had a very, very stacked leaderboard as well. Putrick in 1st on 192, a ridiculous score. We had Malabuka in 2nd, who unfortunately, other than FNCS a few days ago with the round 3, has been doing really well in basically everything. We had, is it Asane Yael? I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. We had Luxa, Seti, Toos, we had Vortex, Akexu, Karma, Marine. So a lot of the teams that, didn't qualify for the round 4, seems like they're taking the solo Cash Cup more seriously. The solo Cash Cup does take place right before FNCS now, so I know solo Cash Cups won't be as serious, they won't be as competitive naturally, because a lot of the teams that, or a lot of the players that are top tier are focusing on their FNCS round 4, which is taking place right after it. So not a lot of them are playing, but they were still fun to watch, and I really wanted to mention just some of those underrated teams and players placing, because it's always fun to celebrate them. Now, moving on to FNCS, and now this one was insane. We'll kick off with NA East, but trust me, EU is just as, if not more exciting. NA East, now remember, the format, in case you guys don't know, the reason why I'm focusing so much on top 3 is top 3 is going to qualify automatically straight through into the grand finals. If you guys are still confused on the format, I'll link a video in the description down below with the timestamp. You can go to one of my old videos that fully explains the format. Just know that the weeks, during the rounds, during the weeks, top 3 is everything. If you make top 15, you're pretty much guaranteed into the semifinals and heats off consistency, even if you don't make or don't even play any of the following weeks. So top 15 is important too, but most teams in these big regions, they want to get top 3 straight into grands, straight into the money, and that's what we saw today. NA East, we had Nut, Iomzo, and Chucky take out first by 1 place over Bugha's team on 190. Throughout the whole tournament, Bugha was making it look like another World Cup. He was just running away with it. Their first 3 games, well, I mean, look at all of their games, but their first 4 games were disgusting. 12 elim win, 9 elim second, 9 elim second, 3 elim 6th. Unfortunately, their last 2 games were their worst, a 0 elim 10th and a 0 elim 18th. Nut, Iomzo, and Chucky were kind of a lot more, I want to say, consistent. They had not as many good games, but they didn't have as many bad games either. They got a 6 elim 3rd, a 5 elim 14th, 11 elim win, 6 elim 7th, 4 elim 8th, and 4 elim 10th. Now, remember, Nut, Chucky, and Iomzo only just formed this season. Remember, they almost split up with Nosh. Remember, Nosh used to play with Nut and Chucky, and then Iomzo swapped to play with Bugha, and then Avery was left out, but Avery came back. These were the 2 teams that almost split at the start of the season and got back together. And right now, I've been saying it, Iomzo, especially right now, after winning the UEFA Solo Cup, after popping off in so many different cash cups, he is massively on the rise right now, and his team has been looking so good. I said at the start of the stream, I really hope they do well. The only reason why I was a little bit unsure is because we haven't seen them in a set lobby setting before. We've only seen them in, you know, opens rounds or cash cups, but look at their placements right now. Actually, just ridiculous. If we go back to the start of this season, right? 3rd in the Trio Cash Cup, 10th in Cash Cup Extra, 32nd in the Cash Cup, 4th in Cash Cup Extra. Oh, I've lost it now as well. 4th in Cash Cup Extra, 16th in the Solo Cash Cup, then 107th in the Trio Cash Cup, so that was their worst one. 2nd in Bugha's late game, 1st in Bugha's late game, 8th in the qualifiers before this, and then 1st in this qualifier. Straight through into the grand finals, looking insane. Now, 3rd place. This is where the storyline was at. Everyone was gunning for 3rd place. Nosh's team, Nut's team, they were way ahead. There was pretty much no chance they weren't going to get top 2. But coming into the last couple of games, the 3rd place slot was up for grabs. The last game, I think there was about 6 teams within like 10 points of each other. That's 4 or 5 elims from taking it. One of those being, of course, Creo, Bucky, and Clicks. Bucky tweeted out the comeback of a century. And Bucky always tweets that out. So everyone, you know, just kind of dismissed it. Whatever. Good luck, man. You guys are way down the leaderboard. Their first 3 games was a 1 elim 14th, 0 elim 26th, and a 2 elim 10th. Nothing fantastic at all. They were way down the leaderboard. Their last 3 games, though, 6 elim 3rd, 11 elim win, and a 6 elim 6th. They were so close, but at the very end, DGen Ages Skittles were just that much more consistent. They didn't start off too well. They had a 7 elim first in their second game, but they brought it home with 2 4th places with 5+ elims both games. So unfortunately for the Clicks, Bucky, and Creo fans out there, they did not get top 3. They did not qualify. It went to DGen Ages Skittles, but that is an insane performance for yet again another team that this is their first FNCS playing together, almost getting top 3 in the first week. I would not be surprised, and I don't think anyone would be surprised to see them take it week 2 and 3. Also, again, you guys know me, I'm a fan of these guys, but I try to be very impartial with my videos. They had some of the worst RNG I've ever seen. Every zone was a south zone or a west zone. I think they got a single zone on them in Steamy. Even then, I've never seen a team walk away with worse shotguns from Steamy stacks in my life. 3 games, I kid you not, they had 2 gray tacks and like a green pump, or like 1 green pump, a gray tack, and a blue tack. Like they could not get 3 good shotguns to save their lives, and they still almost qualified. So insane performance from them. No one's surprised to see Deej and Aegis Skittles go through. We had P-God, Peterbot, and TK, who again have been popping off at the moment. I keep hyping them up. The X-Console gang, they're looking so good with P-God, obviously. 5th place, we had again Crip, Cold, and Elite come in 6th. Another team that just formed together out of Coral Castle too, a drop that I usually don't give enough respect, apparently. We also had Bowl Cut Tyler's team, another team pop off out of nowhere. Tabs G's team was so close. Same with Redux team. D-Roller getting the last laugh on his team, dropping him because they almost qualified today. 10th place, but again, one more good game was the difference between 3rd. Overall, it was a fantastic tournament. A lot of the other teams down the leaderboard, there was quite a few of them getting contested. There was a few really good performances, some not so good, but I don't think anyone's really kind of playing terribly. I just think it's a story like we already know. If you're contested, you're not doing well. It's that simple. Some of the teams managed to get just outside top 5 getting contested, but only the teams in the top 5, they were all unconned. Every team in top 5 was unconned. That is for a reason right now, but they played phenomenal and the game quality was insane. If you missed these games, go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. You can check out my VOD, or make sure you don't miss them next week because they're so much fun to watch. They feel like grand finals. EU was arguably as intense, or maybe even more intense, because it wasn't a 2-horse race. This had 4 of the biggest teams in EU with the biggest names within a few eliminations of each other. Going into the last game, you had Benjy's team, Hen's team, Tayson's team, and Aqua's team all in top 4 within like less than 10 points of each other. I think at one point it was 7 points. That's a little over 3 elims. It ended up going to Benjy Fishy. We got to see Benjy Fishy win with his brand new team on 186 points. 6 games played, 0 victory hours. So again, didn't get a Vicroy, but played insanely consistently. 5 elim 9th, 6 elim 17th, and then 11 elim 2nd, 3 elim 5th, 8 elim 6th, and 5 elim 8th. They played really, really well. Now, look at the points here for this top 3. You had then Wave High Ground, which is Vidil. Then you had BL and whatever those characters are, which is Noah Riley. And then you had Always on Height, which is Aqua on 184 in 2nd place. 6 games played, 2 victory hours. You know what playstyle they were going for. I have never seen someone fit their name more perfectly. Aqua's team either wins on high ground or dies trying to get it. It's pretty much how their playstyle works. Again, in the last game, they did that to Tayson. So 3rd place went to Guild Henchman, which is Hen, Janice, and of course Ugwe74, which is none other than Chapix, on 182. That is 4 points between 3rd and 1st. That's 2 eliminations, like absolutely insane. These games were so good to watch. And like I just touched on, going into the last game, Vino, Tayson, and Rezon were up there as well. They got zone. They got a rotating zone on half-half. Sorry, they got high ground on half-half and first rotating zone. And who other than Wave High Ground, Noah Riley, and Always on Height to land on them, completely wiped them out of the game, ruined their chance of qualifying, took their spot, and jumped up into top 3. It was so exciting to watch. It was brutal to see for Tayson. But again, come on, Tayson team, people gave Tayson a whole bunch of crap for leaving his old team. Oh, you gave up a guaranteed qual spot, Tayson, you have an ego, Tayson, you're so egotistical. They almost got the grand final spot back in their first week playing together. I have no doubt that Tayson will qualify in week 2 or week 3. He will get top 3 in one of those weeks. He's just playing too well. The only reason why he didn't today is because of Wave High Ground's team. So we had Aqua's team just psychoing everyone on height every time. They did it to Benjy Fishy as well. I think Benjy Fishy's worst game, I think that 17th place, was when they had high ground and Aqua's team chopped them out and just eliminated all 3 of them instantly. They were causing issues, but it was such a good tournament to watch. Seeing Benjy Fishy's team come out in first, and the thing I wanted to touch on here, Benjy Fishy had no drop spot. Benjy Fishy did not go Believers Beach, did not contest, ended up going the north side of Kami Split, which is the kind of henchman house area and like the bridge. They've never gone there before, and they were playing so smart, taking ridiculously good early game fights, pushing third parties that were really, really intelligent fights. Benjy Fishy, Joe, and Shadow looked like an FNCS grand final winning team. I'm not kidding. They looked like an easy top 5 team in grands. Out of a drop spot, they've never gone. They weren't just pulling dumb plays. It wasn't on the back of just solo clutches or insane mechanics. It was on the back of a team working together and playing really, really smart. It gave me a lot of confidence for them going into the finals. We had Fast Jockey's team just miss out in 5th. We had Lolito's team in 6th that was in 1st at one point. Pretty unexpected for me. I don't know too much about Lolito's team. They had a 6 elim 10th, a 6 elim 4th, and a 9 elim 3rd. Unfortunately, after that, things came really unstuck. Their last 3 games were not too great, but really good performance from them. We had Serene's team, we had Ellocrat's team, Mitro's team. They were conned on spawn at Slurpee, and man, they won. They won 4 of the 5. I'd say they won 4 of the 6 games. So 4 games, they straight up won. They wiped Kiriachi's team. They completely won it. Game 2, I would say was more of a draw. Kiriachi's team disengaged. Mitro's team disengaged. No one won. Game 6, they did lose to Kiriachi. So Mitro's team technically only got eliminated by Kiriachi's team once of the 6 games. They looked really good on spawn, but unfortunately with that, it means they really didn't have a lot of excuse for why they didn't do too well endgame. I watched a lot of this, couldn't really see what went wrong too much, but they clearly still have all the fighting skills of a top tier team. Just think the game plan maybe wasn't there on surge routes or whatever it be. The game 2, when they weren't contested, when Kiriachi's team disengaged, was one of their worst games. They went down to surge, so unfortunate for them. But in their last game, they went down on spawn. They could have had a fantastic game there that would have easily put them in top 5, potentially maybe pushing for the qualification. So not the best performance, but definitely not one that is to be counted out. They could easily come back and take it week 2 or 3. We had Savid's team in 10th as well. So again, EU was a story pretty similar to what NA had. If you were contested, you just weren't doing fantastic. We had one of the most consistent, one of the best teams at the moment, Floki's team, just do really not that great at all in 21st because they were contested. We had Wolfies, Marine, and Milan. They weren't contested, but they kept rotating into the crops to try to get a piece of the fight going on there between High Chris's teams. So things got a bit messy there. Quite often they got caught up in the fray there, but it was really, again, great games to watch and a lot of really good new teams coming out of nowhere. But the top 3 arguably or unarguably were the best 3 teams on the day. I think Tayson's team got it done a little bit dirty a couple of those games, but overall you now have 6 phenomenal teams going straight into grand finals, proving that this system and this meta is finding the best teams. I also tweeted out today that I might be doing like a top 10 competitive moments of the week style thing. Also have a submission section where you guys can submit your clips to see if that makes it in there. Just want to get your guys' feel for that. Is that something you'd like? Because at the moment, I'm loving doing the news videos. I've got some interviews, some kill races coming up as well, but there's usually a couple days a week where I could upload another video, and I think this would be a cool style. Not too many people are doing it. I don't want to like overly edit it. I just want it to be real chill. The clips, maybe I give a bit of context to the clip, but not me like reacting to it or talking over it. Just the 10 moments that you should have seen from that week. So if you like that, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you like today's video, please chuck a like on it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.